So, you're running an SD-WAN, right? You know how powerful it is. But here's the classic problem. A critical app starts to crawl. You check your dashboards and everything's green. What gives? Well, that's what we call the visibility gap. And today we're going to talk about how to slam it shut by integrating Cisco ThousandEyes right into your SD-WAN fabric. Okay, so let's picture this. It's a scenario that probably keeps a lot of you network engineers up at night. Your users at a branch office start lighting up the help desk. Salesforce is crawling. But you look at your SD-WAN dashboard and everything, every single device, every link in your fabric, it all looks perfectly healthy. So you know pretty quickly that the problem isn't actually inside your network. So the million-dollar question is, where is the problem? Where is all that latency coming from? And you know, the issue almost always lies in that complex web of networks between your site and the cloud. We're talking about different ISPs, the internet backbone, CDNs, all these places you don't own, and more importantly, can't directly see. And that right there creates a super frustrating and really critical visibility gap. You know, this challenge actually has a name. We call it the network visibility gap. And honestly, for any modern IT team out there managing a distributed network, this is one of the biggest hurdles you face. It makes it so hard to guarantee a great user experience. And let's be real, to prove it's not the network's fault when things go wrong. Basically, think of it this way. Your usual monitoring tools, they're fantastic for everything inside your own four walls, or, within your SD-WAN overlay. But the second that traffic leaves your network and hits the big, wide-open internet, poof, you lose all that beautiful hop-by-hop clarity. You're completely blind to the path it takes across all those different ISP, MPLS, or cloud provider networks. And guess what? That's exactly where the performance problems usually hide. Okay, so how do we fix this? What's the solution? Well, the answer is pretty elegant, actually. It's all about integrating ThousandEyes directly into the SD-WAN fabric. And look, this isn't just about bolting on another monitoring tool. No way. This is about fundamentally embedding that visibility right where you need it the most, inside the network itself. So here's how it works. By deploying these ThousandEyes agents, we call them vantage points, directly inside your branch and campus locations, you suddenly get this true end-to-end view. You can literally trace the entire path, from your user's laptop all the way to the application in the cloud. It gives you this complete hop-by-hop analysis across every single network segment along the way. No more black boxes. So what are the real benefits here? What do you actually get out of this integration? Well, first off, you can test both your SD-WAN overlay, your private tunnel, and the underlay, the public internet or MPLS transport that it's all running on top of. That's huge. This gives you that incredible end-to-end visibility we were just talking about, which means you can spot issues way faster. And of course, it completely bridges that visibility gap between all of your sites. Now, this is the part I think is really cool. It's how efficiently this whole thing gets deployed. You're probably thinking, great, now I have to ship a new box of hardware to every single one of my sites. But nope, that's not the case at all. The heart of this solution is something called the ThousandEyes Enterprise Agent. The best way to think about them is like little lightweight software probes that you place strategically inside your network. They become your eyes and ears on the ground, constantly measuring performance and availability from the exact same perspective as your users. Then they correlate all that data with what's happening on the network itself. And here's the real kicker, the best part. These agents aren't separate physical boxes you have to rack and stack. They're actually designed to run as Docker containers. And what that means is you can deploy them directly on the Cisco router hardware that you already have running at all your branch and campus sites. It's brilliant. And this isn't some niche feature. This native integration is supported on some of the most common, widely deployed enterprise platforms out there. We're talking about things like the Cisco Catalyst 8000 series and the ISR 4000 series routers. So you're basically just flipping a switch and activating a powerful new capability on the hardware that's probably already powering your network today. The benefits of doing it this way are, well, they're pretty significant. Your deployment becomes incredibly fast and super scalable. You don't need any extra hardware, which means no more truck rolls to remote sites. And that, of course, drastically cuts down on both your OpEx and your CapEx. Plus, you can easily light up these vantage points across multiple network paths to get a really complete, comprehensive view of your entire environment. Okay, so you're sold. How do you actually get these agents rolled out across your whole network? Let's take a look at the different ways you can do it, because there's actually a ton of flexibility here. So you've basically got 4 main ways to go, and each one is suited for a different kind of need. For big, automated rollouts, you've got Cisco DNA Center. If you just want to light up one device real quick, you can use the web UI. For all you scripters and command line gurus, there's the good old CLI. And for really deep, custom automation, you can even use the Yang model. Now, for most big enterprises, Cisco DNA Center is probably going to be the way to go. It's really the preferred method. Why? Because it gives you this simple, secure, and totally centralized workflow that cuts down on deployment time and makes sure everything is consistent, whether you have 100 sites or 1,000. You pretty much just upload the template, punch in your configs, and push it out to the network. It's that easy. Now, if you're just doing 1 or 2 devices, maybe for a proof of concept, the web UI is a perfectly good option. You just log into the device's web page and upload the app. And for those of you who love to script things out or just want that really granular, direct control, the CLI is an awesome, powerful choice. It lets you configure every little detail right from the command line. I really like this slide because it kind of demystifies what it takes to do this from the CLI. It's not as scary as it might seem. It's really just a straightforward 5-step process. First, you copy the application over to the router. Then you enable the app hosting feature, which is called IOX. After that, you configure the networking for it, set your application parameters, like your account token, and then you just install and start the agent. See? It's super logical, and you can totally script the whole thing. Okay, so let's fast forward. The agents are all deployed, they're up and running. Now what? What can you actually do with them? Let's get out of the theory and look at a really practical example of how all this visibility helps you solve actual real-world problems. A perfect, and I mean perfect, use case for this is monitoring the performance of a critical SaaS app like Microsoft 365. Think about it. Your entire business depends on it, but you have absolutely zero control over Microsoft's network. This is exactly where ThousandEyes becomes completely indispensable. So from the ThousandEyes dashboard, you can literally just point all your new branch agents at Microsoft 365 and just let them run. They'll start continuously testing the user experience, and what you get back is this amazing real-time path visualization. You see detailed data on everything, from DNS resolution all the way down to the exact network path your traffic is taking to get to Microsoft's front door. And this is the ultimate payoff. The next time a user complains that Outlook is slow, you don't have to guess anymore. You can just pull up the data and say with confidence, I see it. The problem is right here at this specific router hop inside our ISP's network. You can finally isolate the fault domain with actual concrete evidence. And that is the key to getting problems fixed fast, especially when the problem isn't even yours to fix. And that really wraps up our tour of integrating ThousandEyes with Cisco SD-WAN. We've seen how it closes that critical visibility gap, and not by adding a bunch of new boxes, but by activating intelligence that's already sitting inside the hardware you own. So I'll leave you with just one question to think about. In your own network, what's that one critical, hard-to-see application path that you would want to light up first?